Hi! Thank you so much for tuning into my vlog. My name is MistyqBleu and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to share with you a very special recipe that my late grandmother has taught me when I was much younger. I used to be her shadow and followed her around everywhere and learned a lot of recipes and secrets from her. So today I'm going to share with you a very special pickle recipe, which is the cucumber pickle. Well, a lot of times the pickles have vinegar in the brine, but mine doesn't have any vinegar. I don't like pickles that are sour, therefore I'm not using any vinegar. It's a little sweet, a little spicy, and a little salty. Hey, what else can a girl ask for, right? Anyway, just want to share this with you. There you go. I know it looks very floral. That's the deco around it. This is the modern plating. You can see this. This is Barbados cherries from the garden. My dad has a lot of all these little plants and herbs, and this is from my dad's garden. Barbados cherry. It's very sour, but it goes well. You know, it's like a palate cleanser after you have the pickles because it's all spicy. And around it, I just want to show you. Now this is sweet basil stock. It's flowers, sweet basil flower stock, which you can eat together with the cucumber pickle. And if you're wondering where's the cucumber pickle, I'm getting around it. There, this green one is a cucumber pickle. Can you see? You'll see a lot of it in the video later. So to find out how I'm gonna make this pickle, keep watching. If you're here for the first time, please click the subscribe button below, and if you don't hate this video, please give me a thumbs up, and I hope to see you again in my next vlog. See ya! Ta-da! These are our ingredients for this super easy cucumber pickle. We need those nice cucumbers. Well, cucumbers in Malaysia are slightly bigger than those that you can find in other countries. We need brown sugar or any other sugar that you have. I use Himalayan pink salt. We've been using it for probably more than 15 years. We also need some chilies and dried plums. These beautiful Vietnamese bird's eye chilies are fresh from my dad's garden. They're no joke, really spicy. It makes me cry. Chilies are optional, but it's always better with a little bit of heat, and you can use any type of chilies you want. These are dried plums. They have been soaked in salt and dried under the sun for days, and they become like this. They shrink it to this size, and they're salty at every single bite, and you can get them at any Chinese grocery stores. And for storage, you need a glass jar. Any kind is fine. And now we start off with chopping off the head and the tail of the cucumber. And once you have done that, you're gonna rub the head the way you chopped off on its body, rub them until you see all this white fiber that is supposed to take away all those bitterness in the cucumber, because sometimes you don't know, some cucumbers can be slightly bitter and they have a bitter note after you have swallowed it, so it's not going to be nice at all, and this will ensure that you remove all those bitterness. It's a very important step and a secret to some. Next, take a peeler and peel off all the skin. Now we start peeling the cucumber on the insides. Beware of the seeds. You don't want any of them because it's going to be hard for you to flush them out of your body later. Stop at the layer that you have the seeds because you really don't want them at all. I just want to show you this thinly sliced cucumber. It's paper thin and you can see through it. So it's going to be yummy and crunchy. And this itself is where the seeds are. That's the layer I stopped at. And here are some of the cucumbers that I have already sliced. Leave them outside to air for about 10 to 15 minutes because if it's very moist, what's going to happen is your pickle will start bubbling, your brine will not turn out well. You're going to have bubbles all over. It's not a pretty sight. Chilies are optional and you can use as many or as little as you wish. It's up to your taste buds. For me, I've cut 5 tiny little chilies here, but these bird's eyes chilies are super spicy. They make me cry. I always use a pair of scissors to cut them because I don't want to burn my fingers later. Now I'm gonna cut 1 dried plum because it's really salty, so I'm gonna just use 1 for now, and you can always add again later on day 2 depending on your taste buds. Dried plum really adds a really nice dimension to the entire flavor and adds depth. Now it's very important to remember this. The formula is 1 to 2, so 1 tablespoon of salt, any type of salt. In this case I'm using pink Himalayan salt, and 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. You can also use white sugar if you prefer. And now I'm gonna pour in the dried plum, the chilies that I've cut into the concoction of the salt and sugar, and I'm going to mix them well in a bowl. This bowl that you see here is actually a Korean rice bowl, and it comes with a cover. So I cover it and I shake them well before I use them. This concoction is going to be our brine, and you can taste it, see whether you like it. And now this is where the magic is gonna happen. You're gonna toss in the cucumber layer by layer. So you add 1 layer and then you pour in the concoction and you're gonna mix them well. Just make sure when you're mixing the cucumber you raise them slightly higher so that there's a little bit of air sifting through it. If you did not air dry your cucumber, what's gonna happen is as you're doing this, what's gonna happen is you're gonna have lots of air bubbles. It's gonna just create a lot of bubbles in your brine. Okay, so this itself, this particular thing that I'm doing right now is the magic. It's the alchemy where the salt in the dried plum and also of course the pink Himalayan salt, it's gonna draw out all those moisture from the cucumber, and that is going to create your brine without using any water, and you don't even have to cook it. Seriously, all you have to do is keep repeating this process and you're gonna see the brine You just make sure you do not squeeze the cucumber. Just sift them through, raise them high, toss them in the air, and just keep doing that. In a few minutes you will see that, look, there you go, that's the brine already. It's just a little bit right now, I know, but at the end of it you're gonna see a lot more. Just be patient. As you continue to toss and mix everything together, you will see that there will be more and more brine. Right now, I've only used 2 large cucumbers, and the brine, after a while, you will see there'll be more of it. It will be just enough to cover the entire 2 cucumbers in a jar. But of course, you can always have more or less, and while you're doing that, you can also taste the brine itself. But please take note that day 1 and day 2, the taste of the cucumber and the brine will be different, because as you soak them in the brine, the cucumber will soak in more flavors, and day 3 itself it will be different, because on day 2 what's going to happen is you're going to adjust the taste according to how you like it, more sweetness or more salty or even more spicy. It's really up to you. Once you have enough brine to cover all your cucumbers in the mixing bowl, you can start transferring them into the jar. For me, I've used 3 large cucumbers, and I just wanted to show you the 3rd cucumber itself. I did not air dry for a long time, and I actually mixed them immediately, and you can see at the top of the jar it started to be bubbly, and that's the reason why I said you gotta air dry them. I just wanted to show you how it would look if you do not air dry them. Anyway, leave the jar in the fridge for at least 24 hours and let the cucumbers soak in all the flavors. Today we're going to pour everything out of the jar into a mixing bowl and we're going to taste it. If you feel that it's too spicy, add a little bit of sugar. If it's too salty, add more sugar as well. And if it's not spicy enough or not salty enough, you need to add what you need, chili or salt. In this case, my little niece is helping me sifting through and tossing everything into the air. And that's my little nephew's hand adding some sugar because everything was too spicy. Those 5 little bird's eye chilies were so spicy I almost cried. And once it's ready, we're just going to make sure that we packed everything into the bowl and make sure that we have enough brine. And I'm going to add 1 dried plum into the jar at the bottom of the jar, and I'm not going to cut it because this itself is going to add a little bit more flavor into it without having it too spicy. And once I feel that it's ready, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put everything back into the jar and tossing everything and making sure that I mix everything well, and I add the brine back. Remember the bubbles yesterday? They're gone. Once you pour them out of the jar, they're gone. Well, they're not gone, but you gotta mix everything again, and you gotta toss the cucumbers into the air and make sure that enough air sifts through it, and then the bubble will disappear. Close the lid tight back and put it back into the fridge for at least 24 hours before you start eating them. This can last for about a month. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I will share with you more of my late grandma's recipes soon. And see you in my next vlog. Cheers!